Listen to this. Ryan Bowen may have tore his pectoral muscle in round 1 and he still ended up winning the super match, and that too in a hook. Hello arm wrestling fans, let's discuss the results of all of the super matches in order from the recent Knuckles Up 5 pay-per-view event. Link will be in the description. You can purchase the event for $16. The first match was a left-handed super match between Ryan SP and Vitor. Vitor is the husband of Gabriela Vasconcelos. It's cool to see Ryan SP finally on the winning side, and he won 5-0. I wouldn't say super dominantly because in a couple of rounds he did get stopped, but he was never in any kind of trouble whatsoever. So I guess we can say that he won comfortably. Then Matevarangi Hetamoris versus BJ Fokakis. It's good to see Matevarangi win too, and that too without a king's move. It's a very rare sight. So Mate won 3-0 with top roll. Merlin versus Yoshiko Arakawa. Merlin won 3-0 with easy flash pins. Cody Wood versus Matthias Schillett. Cody Wood lost the first round when he tried to top roll Matthias. That was a bad idea. He got flash pinned. He should have stuck to the plan, which he almost executed perfectly before getting pinned. And that was to put Matthias in a hook and tire him out there. And that's exactly what he did in the later rounds and ended up winning the super match 3-1. It's a common pattern that I've seen with these mutants like Oleg Zok, Matthias, or even Jeff Dabe. Once you put these guys in a hook, they're not as difficult to beat as they are if you even think about top rolling them. So far, Toshiyuki Shishido was having a good run at Knuckles Up, but Nick Stone ended up defeating him 3-0. Nadia Vilchinsky defeated Tatiana Faria 3-0 without much trouble, easy flash pins. Ji Hyo-min versus Paul Passamore. That was an amazing match. Paul put too much hook power, too much side pressure on Ji Hyun's bicep in the first couple of rounds, but Ji Hyun kept on applying some top roll, some pronation, so that eventually Paul Passamore's wrist get tired out. And that's exactly what happened. Paul got gassed out in the final rounds and ended up losing his wrist in those 3 rounds and losing the entire match 3-2. Then Ryan Bowen versus Tom Holland. Ryan ended up winning the super match 3-1. That's how it went. Round 1, Ryan went straight into a hook. I would say that Ryan's practice pulls in the past with Tom Holland definitely helped him execute this hook technique in this match. Otherwise, he may have tried to top roll Tom in the first round and eventually he would have failed if he did that. So he went straight to a hook, but there was a foul. Then second start, it was a 2-minute hook war, but then another foul. Then there was a review for shoulder touching the hands, and Tom Holland was correct with the review, so the call was reversed. Then once again, Tom Holland had another foul. Then there was one more start. Tom was offensive, but Ryan ended up bringing him back and beating him with a tricep press. Second round, Tom was in an offensive hook, but he rolled out. Then inside the straps after the restart, there was a pin that was not called. Then in the second round, Tom Holland was on the offensive side in a hook, but for some reason, he rolled out of that hook. Then after the restart, Tom thought that he pinned Ryan Bowen, but it was not called. There was a review once again, and Tom ended up winning that round. Third round. It was pretty similar to round 1. The match got stopped dead center in a hook, but Ryan ended up smoothly transitioning into a tricep press to get the victory. Round 4, again the match stopped in the center and Ryan with an effortless, smooth looking tricep press to get the 3-1 victory. And then I went on to congratulate Ryan, and he told me that he may have tore his pectoral muscle in the first round. That's why he had no offensive hook. He had to rely on his bicep power to hold Tom Holland and then transition with a shoulder press. I hope everything's fine here, but I definitely got surprised by Ryan's performance. Not that I was completely counting him out, but I thought that beating Tom Holland in a hook will be a pretty serious task. And there was a big weight difference as well, which we should not complain about because Ryan did make weight. If you have weigh-ins 30-40 hours before the event, it's not the athlete's problem. So Ryan already gained like 30 pounds after the weigh-ins. So he went from 188 to 219 or something like that, which is a massive gain for sure. Then we had Bogdan Stoica versus Jason Merlo. Amazing super match. Probably one of the best matches of the night. One of the 3 best matches for sure. First 2 rounds, easy top roll win for Jason Merlo. It looked like he's going to win for sure. Next 2 rounds, some flat wrist side pressure, insane move. I wouldn't say Toddzilla style side pressure because Todd has pronation. Bogdan just went sideways without pronation and he still went through Jason Merlo's bicep with ease. 5th round, Bogdan with a straightaway flop press got the win. It was called, but then there was a review from Jason. It wasn't a pin, so the decision was turned. Bogdan reviewed it again. He said that there was an elbow foul which I was not talking about, but since you are making me redo this round, then how about you check the foul on Jason Merlo? And yes, there was a foul on Jason in the losing position. So an advice for the referees, please check everything when you are reviewing a round, not just the thing that is being complained about. Richard Borman versus Don Underwood. There was only one way that this match was going to go. 3-0 domination from Richard. He was even holding Don Underwood and talking with him. After the match, Don took the loss pretty well and he was congratulating Richard by saying that there is no one in this building that can stop this guy. He's on a different level and he's the future of arm wrestling. And on a side note, if Don Underwood is looking like this, what's he even doing in arm wrestling? Like, it's not just his name that is Hollywood Underwood. He truly looks like someone who can play good roles in movies based off his looks alone. Ron Bath is slowly becoming the Australia Slayer. 3-0 victory against Mario Tambakis, just like he did against Ryan Bowen. So should we feed Lachlan Adair to him next? It may be too much to ask from a 62-year-old guy, but with the ease he beat Mario, I think that can be the next logical match. Gabriela Vasconcelos versus Heidi Corner. 3-0, didn't even let her slip, no surprise there. And then the main event, Yordan Sonev versus Farid Osmanli, hook versus King's move. 4-0 victory for Yordan Sonev. Round 1, it was a King's move versus hook as expected. Yordan cannot finish with a hook, so he dumped his own wrist and found out an easy way. He got that round, I'd say, rather comfortably towards the end. Round 2, Farid tried to hook. And then he had to roll out for the slip. He realized it's not the good decision to try to hook Yordan Sonev. But then after the restart, it was Yordan Sonev who top rolled Farid Osmanli. Round 3, it was a very fast hook plus press kind of move from Yordan. Got it comfortably. Round 4, there was a King's move again from Farid, but he ended up fouling in the losing position and losing the entire match 4-0. And I would like to comment about the refereeing in this match. Although these referees also, just like all of the other referees, made many mistakes, but a couple of good things that I really liked about them are, first of all, their egos did not get hurt when the athletes asked for reviews. In fact, they were themselves asking the athletes if they wanted a review or not. And the second thing is, they were very vocal. For the fans, for the athletes, for the commentators, it's a very good thing if the referee keeps on explaining verbally about what's going on, why the foul was called, and why the review is being called, what's the score, what the rules are. So everything was made pretty clear. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed the pay-per-view, please mention it in the comments, like the video, and I'll see you again.